Hey everybody, it's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and I'm looking forward to guiding you through today's yin yoga practice. We're gonna open up the chest, the upper back, the shoulders. So get cozy, something warm. We're gonna meet on the floor in a kneeling position in just a moment. Highly recommend that you bring with you a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, but you happen to have a t-shirt or a towel, those would absolutely work as well. Let's meet on the floor. Meet on the floor. All right. So we're going to start off in a kneeling position, or at least that's my comfortable seated choice to start with today. I'm going to take the block though. I'm going to place it right underneath of my glutes. Feels good to open these a little bit wider. Relax your hands heavy into your lap. Maybe even drop your elbows back. We're going to spend the next 3 minutes here, or at least you are, while I bribe the bird up. Hi, Fred. Excuse me, we're trying to have a quiet, restorative yoga practice. You seem like you're being nasty. Are you awake still? Do you think that these peanuts grow on trees? Because they don't. They grow in the ground. Okay. Start to really slow your breath down. Notice how you're breathing as we get started. Are you still breathing a lot at the top of your chest? Really normal for most activities to have that upper cavity breathing. But right now I want you to work on sending your inhale a little bit lower into your diaphragm. Maybe sitting for a moment with your lungs full. Maybe enjoying an extra part of your breath with your lungs empty. Really ground through your sit bones. Notice if there's any sort of an extra arch in your back, so maybe a slight little tuck of your pelvis, a little engagement through your core. On your next inhale, find length through the crown of your head. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, and then roll your right ear over to your right shoulder. Check in with your upper back. As your chin dropped to your chest, did you create a rounding in your shoulders? It's likely. So squeeze your shoulder blades back together, knit your rib cage back in together, keeping that engagement through the center line. And on your next exhale, chin comes back down to chest, squeeze shoulder blades. And inhale, bring your left ear to your left shoulder. On your next exhale, chin comes back through to chest. Inhale, lift your head up, ground through your sit bone, relax your shoulders, and let's bring our arms up overhead, palms facing towards each other. Right arm relaxes down towards the floor. Maybe it touches the floor, maybe it doesn't, especially if you're lifted on a prop. Just find a little bit of reach with your left hand fingers over to the right side of the room. Try not to collapse your chest down towards the floor. Imagine your shoulder pressing against an imaginary wall behind you. Find one spot, that soft gaze with your eyes, or close them. Let's take 2 more breaths here before we sit ourselves up. Use your next inhale, lift up, palms face towards each other. Exhale, left hand comes down towards the floor. Inhale, find some length. Exhale, right hand reaches over towards the left side. Once again, imagining your right shoulder pressing against an imaginary wall behind you, so you're squared with the wall in the front and in the back. Just a couple more breaths here. On your next inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, arms relax down by your side. Bring your hands, palms into your lap, palms facing up to receive all the good energy around you. Draw your hands, palms towards your hips, squeeze your shoulder blades together and knit that rib cage back in towards itself. So taking out that extra arching of your back. Next up, we're gonna use our strap. Starting to get a little bit warmer, so we're gonna make the movements a little bit more intense. You can open your hands as wide as you want. Can you try and keep your arms straight? Let's inhale them up overhead. And if you need to bring them out wider, 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 you can. As you exhale, bring your arms down behind you. Still pressing through the sit bones, still keeping center line engaged. Inhale up, exhale down. Keep up with this range of motion for just a couple more breaths. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. We'll move like this for one more minute, but let's change it a little bit. On your next inhale up, I want you to reach your arms all the way over to the right. Maybe your hands even gently come behind you. Inhale them back up to center. Arms come all the way over to the left. And now just kind of explore your range of motion here. Maybe a little rotation from the center line, a little deeper opening of the upper back. Or if you prefer to stick with just arms up overhead and exhaling down, you're welcome to. We've got about 30 seconds left here. Last time in both directions. We're actually going to finish with our arms behind us. So one more big inhale. If we're moving at the same pace, exhale, arms behind you. Start to walk your hands in. Can you bring your fingertips together? Maybe fingertips start on your back and then you bring your hands palms together, walking your hands palms up your back into reverse prayer. Really work and see if you can squeeze your hands palms, but take this overarching of the back of the chest out. So once more, knitting your rib cage in, drawing your shoulders away from ears. If your fingers or palms are not touching, that is okay. What can you do today? Chest lifted, finding this opening, relaxing your breath. On your exhale, allow your fingers to paint down your back, start to separate. We're gonna inhale, right arm up overhead, still holding on to my magnificent strap. And exhale, bend your right arm. Left hand comes behind you, back of the fingers onto your back, and start to walk your hands up. So we're coming into some cow face arms. If you're feeling really tight, it's pretty likely that your right arm is making your eye gaze or chest round and come down towards the floor. So take these next couple of breaths, really push your head into the back of the hand. Work to find this lifted opening for 3 more breaths. Elbows stretching in opposite direction. And on your exhale, allow your left hand fingers to come down your back. They can hold on to the strap, release it from your right hand. Inhale, arm up overhead. Exhale, right arm down by your side. Inhale, left arm up towards the ceiling. Bend your left arm, palm facing towards your back. Bring your right hand behind you, and you can walk up the strap. Back of your fingers towards the back as we come into our cow face arms once again. Take out that extra arching in your back. Draw your belly in, press your head against your left forearm. Just about 3 or 4 breaths left here. Release the strap from your right hand. Exhale, release your left hand down. Right hand down, sorry. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left hand down. Let's come into tabletop. So we've had some movement so far, some like pretty short postures. Let's take a little extra warmth into the shoulders, and then we'll start to come into a bit more stillness. So with your hands underneath of your chest and shoulders, fingers spread really nice and wide in your tabletop, we're going to push the palms down and inhale, shift the weight forward. So shoulders come a little forward of your fingers, bring stretch into the forearms, and then exhale, release it back. Inhale, go on, press forward. Exhale, release it back. Really try to keep the bottom of your palm wrist on the mat. Let's do the same direction one more time. And the next time your glutes come back towards your heels, go ahead, come back into your kneeling, maybe even stand up for a different kneeling. Shake your wrists out, maybe make some circles, wiggle your fingers. And then we're gonna bring back to the hands to the floor. So back to the hands, come down to the mat. My fingertips are pointing towards my knees. You're in charge of how much pressure you put, so you can really put some big pressure and feel that stretch a lot, or you can engage your core and not have too much pressure on your hands. Maybe walk your fingers a little closer to your knees, and this time we'll create the stretch as you exhale. Glutes come closer towards your heels, back of hands stay down on the floor. And inhale, we'll lift yourself up. Let's do 3 more. Exhaling down, creating as much pressure as feels okay. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhale up. Last one. Exhale down, and as glutes come closer towards your heels, peel your fingers off of the mat. Once again, find a little shake, a little wiggle. Last 2 stretches into the shoulders. Fingers facing towards each other. We're just gonna shift weight from one side to the other. You can take a nice little bend in your shoulders. Think about even shifting your hips. So we're just kind of changing up a little bit of cat-cow. Bring a little stretch and love to the lower half of the body, as well as the shoulders. And then turn your fingers in the opposite direction. So palms facing towards each other, fingers pointing out. And still find that little shift through your shoulders. Great. Next up, open your knees as wide as you want. We're gonna send hips back towards heels, relax with some child's pose. So extend your arms as far forward as feels good for you today. This will be our first longer posture. In 2 minutes, I'm going to give you the option to change up the stretch that you're feeling though. So sink into your stretch, into your breath, find where it feels good for you. Just a little over 1 minute to go here. enjoying the start to the weekend and destroying a box. I apologize if the noise is distracting. Okay. You can stay in your child's pose as is for 2 more minutes, or if you want to change the strap, walk your arms out in front of you and then release forearms to the ground. So elbows around the mat, bend your elbows and reach your fingers back towards your shoulders or your neck. Perhaps you give yourself a massage here for these next 30 seconds, and then you can find your stillness. Or maybe you just find a little bit of self-myofascial release. So maybe you find a tense spot on your neck. And you just apply a little bit of pressure from your thumbs. The more that you stretch your elbows down and forward, the more of a stretch you can create through your lats, down into your hips, into your low back. We've got 1 minute left here. All right, if you brought your fingers to your neck in our praying mantis version of child's pose, extend your hands forward once again, and let's bring our eye gaze forward as we come forward into a quick sphinx. Walk your legs back behind you, elbows ideally coming underneath of your armpits, but if your back is feeling really tight and you need to open your arms a little bit wider, that's okay. Push into your elbows, chin neutral to the floor. Really feel that stretch in your low back. If it feels too intense, press the tops of the feet into the mat. Make your kneecaps lift up, squeeze your glutes, press your pubic mound into the floor. It'll relieve some of the tension. On your inhale, a little lift through the crown of your heads, extra pressure through your elbows, and exhale, turn, look over your left shoulder for 2 breaths. On your inhale, turn back towards center, press into your elbows, lift through the crown of your head, and exhale, turn and look over your right shoulder. On your inhale, turn back to center, release yourself down towards the mat, make that delightful pillow that you know you can with your hands. Melt your chest into the floor. Big breaths into your upper back. Maybe elbows even stretch a little towards the top of your mat while you're here. And then go ahead, bend your knees and a very slow windshield wipe of your legs from side to side. All right, continuing to stretch into our shoulders. Next up, we've got broken wings. So make sure you have plenty of room on your sides. Move your props out of the way. Arms come out to the side in line with your shoulders. Bring your left hand back in by your chest and use your toes to help you to roll onto your right side. You can place your temple on the floor and you can stay exactly right here as is. But feel free to move around a little bit, find what feels good. Personally, I like to bend my knees, a little bit more of a spine twist. And you might even want to clamshell your legs open to take a little extra rotation into your shoulder. Today, if you want to feel more in your back as well, walk your left hand fingertips away, working to try and bring your left hand armpit back to the mat. And let's stay here for 1, more minute. Giggling at that silly bird. Yeah. Bit of a weird one for me. All right, if you walked your left arm back out into a T, bring your left hand back into a supportive place right underneath your chest. If you opened your legs, bring them back together. And if you bent your knees, straighten them back out. Take your time carefully with intention and control. Roll back over onto your belly. Now switch arms out. Once you're fully supported on your belly on the mat. So left arm comes out, right arm comes in. Take your time. Remember, both sides of the body are not the same. As you roll over, place your left temple on the mat. Option to maybe bend your knees, clamshell your legs open, or walk your right hand fingers away, coming back into your T. Final feels good. We've got a little bit more than a minute to go here. Relax, melt into the floor. Enjoy the sounds of Fred recycling the box. If you walk your right hand away from its supportive starting position, go ahead, bring your right hand back in. If you opened your legs, bring your legs back together. Straighten them out once again. And roll onto your belly. Draw your left hand in, close by your chest. Tuck your toes under. Let's press ourselves up. We're going to press ourselves up and into a kneeling position. We're going to actually come into a plank for a moment for a little extra engagement, and then walk your knees up. Next up, we have camel. Pressing yourself up onto your knees. If you have any discomfort in your If you have any sciatic nerve issues, sorry, the audio just keeps coming on my computer. It's very distracting. All right, if you have any issues with sciatic nerve, then don't open your knees wide, because that's going to bring more of a pinch into your hips. Either have your knees right underneath of your hips, or sometimes I even like camel with knees together. This one's going to be pretty quick. We're going to bring hands to the mid back, right below your ribs at the most tender spot of your back, like they're about to slide into your really high-waisted jean pockets. Press your knees into the floor, squeeze your glutes, hips come forward, hips stay stacked on top of your knees. On your inhale, start to draw a line with your eyes all the way up towards the ceiling, lifting your chest. We're gonna stay supported in camel, so hands are gonna stay on your hips. With each inhale, lifting up, and with each exhale, a little push forward. Let's take 2 more breaths. Inhale, find the lift of your chest. Exhale, hips push forward. Inhale, lift of your chest. Exhale, hips push forward. One more, inhale, lift your chest, look back with your eyes, push your hips forward, hands stay there. And on your next inhale, use your hands to support you as you lift yourself all the way up. Line your head up over your heart and then sit your glutes back down on top of your heels. Allow hands to slide forward all the way to the knees. Find some grounding in your back, a little push on the knees as you come into cat, a kneeling cat. So we took a nice big back bend. Find yourself down to a stretch with our forward fold, but let those shoulders draw away from here. There's a little extra space for your one. Last two breaths. Go ahead, bring your hands to the floor and actually take 1 minute and try some cat-cow. Some free movement that works for you. Just a couple extra breaths here. We'll take one more shoulder stretch from tabletop, and then we'll get to lay down on our back for the rest of class. Coming back through to your neutral tabletop, spread your fingers really nice and wide. One more time, press your knees into the floor. Draw in from your center line. Right hand stays on the floor. Let's start with the left arm. Inhale, left arm up, allow eye gaze to follow. Nice rotation and twist. And then exhale, left hand comes underneath of the body, palms facing up. Bring your left ear to the floor, I should say. And you can even shift a little bit more onto your shoulder. You can keep your hand, your right hand, right where it is to be supportive, or you can think about increasing this stretch. Maybe you walk your hands all the way forward. Maybe you sink your glutes back towards your heels, or if you want a little extra, your chin can come forward towards the floor, and you can even walk your legs all the way behind you for a little bit of half bow tie. Ooh, things got a little intense in that half bow tie. All right, we're here for 2 minutes, 2 more minutes, I should say. So find the stretch that worked for you. You can stay in that, thread the needle. You don't have to come as deep as I did. Start a big scan of your body from your head to your toe. Notice where there is tension or discomfort. Notice it on your inhale, and on your exhales if you're literally blowing the stress, the tension, the pain away. If at any point, however, your stretch goes from being noticeable, uncomfortable to so painful, yikes, then ease your way out. Find a new place where you can breathe and create the stillness in your mind, your body, and your breath. If you extended your arm out, walk your arm in. If you joined me in extending your legs out, walk your legs back in. Right hand palms out on the floor. Push into it, lift your chest, inhale, left arm all the way to the ceiling. Eyes follow hand, twist, twist, twist. And then exhale, left hand comes back down to the floor. One cat, one cow, neutral tabletop. Remember, you don't have to do the exact same thing on this side as you did on the other. Left hand stays on the floor. Inhale, right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Right hand threads the needle, comes underneath. Right ear comes towards the floor. Maybe you walk your left hand forward. Maybe you sink glutes a little closer towards your heels. Maybe you take that extra stretch, turning your chin towards the floor in front of you. Apply a little extra pressure onto your forearm. We've got a total of 2 minutes here. Whatever you decide is right for you on this side. If you moved your left hand, bring your left hand back to be supportive. If you moved your legs, make your legs way back to the floor. Then we'll push into our left hand, lift ourselves up. Right arm opens all the way to the sky. Twist, 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 twist. And then exhale, right hand back down to the floor. One cat, one cow, neutral tabletop. We're gonna make our way onto our backs. You can get there any way you want. I'm gonna walk my knees up for a moment, cross my legs behind me, and then sit in the glutes. Bring your strap before you lay down. Next up, we're gonna go for a little reclined cobbler with Gomu Konasana with some eagle arms. Oh, it's gonna be great. So strap is gonna lay down on your mat, lengthwise, in line with your spine. You're gonna use it to bring your hands together while we're laying down. Okay, so once you make it to the floor, we're gonna bring soles of the feet together as well in a butterfly. And that's just gonna help us also to rock a little bit from side to side. Starting off with right arm coming up overhead, bend your right elbow so that your head is relaxing on the forearm once again, just like in our seated position. From our start, but now it's so much easier to not be rounded forward. We're going to take the left hand, palm facing down towards the floor, and start to walk it up your back. Maybe you even roll over onto the right side. Maybe you're holding onto the strap. So work to walk your hands together. You can get your left hand as much underneath of the body as feels okay for you today. We're going to hang out here for another minute and a half. So if it feels too much, maybe you barely bring your left hand underneath of you, maybe your palm is just underneath of you, but as much stretching in opposite directions as you can create with your elbows, and then just melt into the mat. If things are feeling really tight and tense in your feet, maybe you wiggle them further down towards the bottom of your mat as well, so you can get some support of your legs on the floor next to you. 1 minute left. Let's carefully release. So maybe knees clamshell together, back to the right side to help you release your left arm. Right arm comes out from behind you. Roll onto your back and let's switch those arms. Left arm comes up overhead. Bend the left elbow, palm facing up towards the ceiling. Head relaxes on the back of your forearm. You can grab hold of that strap again with your left hand and then roll over onto the right side. Find the strap with your right hand, right palm faces down as you roll onto your back into your reclined cobbler with eagle arms. Once again, total of 2 minutes here. We've got 1.5 minutes to go. And remember, if you need to, you can wiggle your toes a little closer towards the end of the mat. And if that still feels like too much, maybe you bend your knees or you straighten your legs. It's your practice. It's not perfect. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday, and it doesn't matter what you do tomorrow, because all you're focusing on is your breath and what feels right now. Clamshell your legs back together or roll gently onto your left side to release your right arm from underneath of you. Release your left arm from behind you. Go ahead, open your feet mats with distance apart. Take a gentle windshield wipe of your legs. And then with legs really nice and wide, allow knees to fall heavy towards one direction. Trying to keep both of your shoulders on the mat still. So a little bit more of a stretch into your hips as opposed to that big stretch into your spine. We got 1 minute here. Keeping your feet wide on your next inhale, bring your knees back up towards the ceiling. Take a quick little windshield wipe, or slow, but a brief windshield wipe is the phrase I meant to use. And then as your knees come to the opposite side, take that wide-legged twist. Can you keep both shoulders on the mat? Getting that awesome stretch on the outside of the hip and the glutes. Use your next exhale to roll onto your back once more. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Stretch your elbows down towards your hips. Keep the back of your head flat on the mat while you gently tuck your chin towards your chest to get more of the back of your neck flat on the mat. Really open up your chest. Press the backs of the shoulders into the floor. Sacrum stays down on the mat, but knees come a little closer towards that chest. Feel that awesome stretch into your hip flexors, into your quads. And on your exhale, release your feet down to the floor, straighten them out, and let's come into our final Savasana. If you can believe it, we've already made it to our final Savasana. Heels can touch, toes can fall open, arms can stay close by your side, or feel free to open your arms a little wider, open your legs a little wider, find what feels good for you. We've got 3 minutes together in our stillness, in our breath for this final Savasana. And if you want to stay longer, you're welcome to, but those last 3 minutes start right now. those 3 minutes. Go us. You're welcome to stay here as long as feels relaxing for you, or if you're not relaxed yet, stick around for 3 more breaths and then check back in 3 more breaths after that. If you're ready to close out class though, take a little wiggle of your fingers, of your toes, and then take your time, make your way into a comfortable seated position of your choice. Of your choice. Oh, once you get there, ground through your sit bones, use your inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead, palms come together, hands come down to heart center, thumbs touching on chest, sternum, and namaskars. You tuck your chin to your chest. And take a moment to honor yourself. Think of one thing that you can already be proud of yourself for today. I hope whatever it was brought a smile to your face. As you're ready, if it feels right, bring your thumb up to your third eye, your drishti, ground through your sit bones. Lift your heart, bring your beautiful face up towards the sky. And know that, as always, every day, the light within me sees, honors, and is thankful for the light within you. Please keep coming back. Keep doing your best. It is always enough. If you have any questions or concerns about anything I said or did, reach out. Until we are together again, think good thoughts, speak good words, eat good foods, do good deeds, and take the time to nourish yourself from the inside out, because you are worth it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.